All right, let's talk about something you do all the time, probably without even thinking about it. We're going to dive into your many voices, and trust me, they matter a whole lot more than you might realize.
Okay, let me ask you something. Do you talk to your best friend the exact same way you talk to your boss? I mean, think about it. The words you pick, your tone, how fast you're talking, is it really the same?
Yeah, of course not. Not even close, right? And hey, if you've ever felt like that makes you kind of fake or inconsistent, don't. It's actually a totally normal, super important part of how we all communicate. And you guessed it, there's a name for this.
It's called style shifting. And really, all it is that unconscious little switch we flip in our brains. It changes how we speak, our accent, the words we use, our grammar, all depending on the situation. So, why? Why do we do this?
Okay, so the first big idea is called the attention theory. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. The theory goes that we change how we speak depending on how much we're actually paying attention to our own words.
So, to test this, a sociolinguist named William Labov came up with this really, really clever experiment. Picture this. It's the 1960s, and he basically goes undercover in New York City department stores just to listen in on how people talk in the real world.
So here was his game plan. He'd go up to a salesperson and ask for something he knew was on the fourth floor. He'd listen really closely to how they said it. Specifically, did they pronounce the R in fourth? Then he'd pretend he didn't hear them. He'd go, "Excuse me?" That little trick made them repeat fourth floor, but this time they're paying more attention, right? They're trying to be clearer.
And get this, the results were amazing. The second time they said it, when they were suddenly focused on speaking clearly, they were way more likely to pronounce that R. It was like a switch flipped. Their speech went from casual to careful in a split second. And this was Labov's whole point. He concluded that the more attention you pay to your speech, the more proper or formal it gets. When we're just chillin', we talk casually. But the second we're on, in a job interview or, when someone asks you to repeat yourself, we instinctively shift gears. But hold on. Is that the whole story? Is it really all about us paying attention to ourselves? Well, there's another theory called the audience design theory. And this one suggests something different. Maybe it's not about us at all. Maybe it's about who we're talking to. Okay, so let's break that down. Theory 1, Labo's idea, is that it's all about how much attention you are paying to your own words. But theory 2, audience design, says no. It's about who you're speaking to. You're basically designing your speech for your listener. The big name behind this idea is Alan Bell. He believed we shift our speech to accommodate our audience, to connect with them. And he found the perfect place to see this in action, New Zealand radio. So Bell looked at radio announcers who read the news on a bunch of different stations. Here's the key. They were reading the exact same script, but the stations had totally different audiences. And what did he find? Their pronunciation changed consistently, depending on which station they were on. Since they were just reading, their level of attention was pretty much the same. The only thing that was different was the audience they were trying to reach. All right, so now we've got these two great theories, right? Attention versus audience. But you know how it is with people. Things are never that simple. The reality is a little messier, and sometimes the rules don't quite fit. Check this out. A study in Belfast found that when people were asked to read from word lists, which you'd think requires a lot of attention, they didn't always switch to a more standard accent. In fact, some of them leaned harder into their local accent. It's a huge hint that sometimes showing who you are and where you come from is way more important than just sounding proper. And this whole thing, this complexity, it's not just about pronunciation and accents. Nope, it goes deeper. It's also about the actual words you choose. Think about this. Someone versus somebody. They mean the exact same thing, don't they? But you probably use them differently. Someone sounds a little more formal, right? Like something you'd write in an email. But somebody? That's what you say when you're just talking to a friend. See? Your style's shifting right there, and you probably don't even notice. Okay, so we've looked at a few different angles here. What does it all add up to? What's the big takeaway for how we, just get by in the world and talk to people? So let's wrap this up. First off, style shifting is not weird, it's what we do. It's a basic part of being a person. Second, Labov was right. Paying attention to our speech definitely makes a difference. Third,
Belle was also right. We are absolutely designing our speech for our listeners. And finally, and this is the most important part, these shifts are just tools. They're these amazing, sophisticated tools we use to navigate our social lives, to show people who we are, and to define our relationships.
So, I'll leave you with this. The next time you're talking and you catch yourself shifting your style, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, why? What does that tiny change say about you, about them, and about all the different hats you wear every single day? It's a pretty cool window into your own world. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.